So today I'm going to do like a parts overview on the 3000 GT, what we basically are doing. So this is the Fueltech Universal 6-cylinder harness, and that's why we went through all the hassle of separating the body harness from the engine harness, because we're replacing the entire engine harness. So that's kind of the main component there. So from here, as you can see, we obviously have a Fueltech 550 for the car. We've got some Injector Dynamics injectors. These are 1050Xs. And then we've got a bunch of parts from 3SX. So we've got the fuel rails and the optional parts to go with the fuel rails. I believe it's like a crossover pipe. So we ordered a ton of like pigtail ends for the TPS, cam sensors and stuff like that. So we ended up ordering for the old cam angle sensor and then the later style cam angle sensor, just because at the time we didn't know if we were going to convert over. So we still may do that. We're going to see if the Fueltech will play with the factory cam sensor, but if not, we went ahead and bought these just that way we would have them if we needed to convert over. So the last component of the fuel system side is the Discharge pump. So we have a brushless fuel pump. We're not using that just yet. So the goal is just to kind of hook up the Fueltech so we can get to power on the fuel pump to pump the old fuel out before we start adding any of the new stuff. Obviously there's going to be AN fittings and stuff like that we're going to have to get. But on the ignition side of it, it's pretty cut and dry. So we've got the IGN1A coils. These specifically came from WHP, which is in the Dallas, Texas area. They're the distributor for ECU Masters, but they also sell, sensors and stuff like that as well. So we've got 6 of these that, fortunate enough, will just plug right into the Fueltech harness. So obviously we have 6 of those. We'll have to make brand new wire leads and stuff like that, which is not a big deal. So if memory serves, these are like Ford style boots. So we just order some good spark plug wires for the 3000 GTs, lob off the end of it, and then crimp on our new ends. So that covers virtually most of it. We're still adding AN lines, fuel pressure regulator, things like that. And then we also will be ordering a couple more sensors. Fuel pressure, oil temp are going to be along those. Coolant temp, IAT, obviously. And then he's also got the Fueltech wideband Nano Pro as well. So that's basically it. So what we're going to do is we are going to remove the body harness back out. We'll start cleaning them up since we figure out what's needed and what's not needed. We're basically going to start wrapping it up to start making it look pretty. Then we'll start feeding the Fueltech harness through, and then just kind of laying out the harness just like we did on the Z31. Install the harness, let it just roughly so we know where the ECU is going to sit, and then we start running all the leads of where places where things need to go, and then from there we actually will start pinning everything up once we find out the actual distance of where everything needs to sit at. So the other day I was going over the parts for the 3000 GT and I thought we were done and over with. But speaking to the owner, there's a couple other things he wants to change up. So what we're doing first and foremost is we've ordered some more parts from Fueltech. The first part is the Nano Pro universal mount. We've got some pressure and temperature sensors in here, but the big one is that we've got the Fueltech Universal B harness. So we only had the A harness, and so the original plan was to go waste spark, and we probably still are going to go waste spark, but the big reason for the Universal B harness was really because he plans to go drop by wire. So on the 3000 GT, someone makes an adapter that allows you to use an Evo 10 throttle position sensor, or the actual throttle pedal. And then for the intake manifold, you can actually use a 3.8 Mitsubishi Eclipse throttle body. So here's the intake manifold, here's the throttle body for the 3.8, and we've actually got this back from the machine shop, and it's already, as you can see, ported for this gasket. So this is one other part that we ended up buying. This is from this is a dual pump kit, as you can see, from Gonzo Labs. Now, so on his car, we've got the Deechworks brushless pump, so we're only using one. The reason why we ended up buying this one was because for some reason all the fuel pump baskets don't have a return, because most people use their feed as their return and they run a new line. So for us, what we're going to do is we're just going to block off one of these. We're just going to cap off one of the feeds, and then we've got a built-in return. So I'm super stoked about the 3000 GT. We're now at this point, all we're waiting is for the drive-by wire parts, and then we can actually start putting things together.